last year when I had a short stint in the
Ladies and
comeback.
gentlemen, Culture Kings presents the 6 3-minute rounds over cruiserweight contest. Fighting out of the blue corner, representing Coast Boxing via Glenfield, a 29-year-old with a record of 20-4-0. He weighed in at 90.9, one of the durable stars of New Zealand boxing. Give it up for Nik the Greek Charalampous.
Confident, calm, collected, Nik the Greek.
25-year-old, lives in West Auckland via Jamaica in the West Indies and London in the UK, with a record of 11-0 out of Peach Boxing from West Auckland. Let's hear it for your main man, Jerome the Panther Pampellone. And your referee for this cruiserweight contest, John Conway. Fighters to the centre of the ring.
All right, guys, first of all, this is a 6-round fight. Bout line here is fine, bout line here is fine. You must be able to protect yourselves at all times. Listen to my instructions. When I call break, stop throwing, step apart from each other before you start. Fighters, shake gloves.
Jerome the Panther Pampellone against Nik the Greek Charalampous. Our final fight of the night here, the main event of the evening at Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland, at the War Memorial Museum. We're about to go. And this should be a doozy, Chad.
You're really interested to see how this plays out. Like I was saying before, they are familiar with each other in the ring. And Nik comes out aggressive, and that's what Nik is going to need to do. Key for him is he needs to make it a tough fight, a messy fight. He needs to use that weight. But also Jerome needs space to punch. He needs to, like he's there working behind that measured jab. And once he gets him sitting still, fires accurate, powerful combinations. So Nik is doing exactly what he needs to do. And that's, coming from his experience, to know to do that.
I was talking to someone today, they suggested the 6th rounder might suit Nik the Greek against someone like Jerome Pampellone.
Well, I think it's going to be, it will suit Nik based on how he boxes. If he lets Jerome push him back behind the jab and get Nik on the ropes, the shorter distance might actually favor Jerome. Because Jerome will fight at the pace to fight a hard 6 rounds, so he will throw more punches, he'll have more offense. But if Nik can close that distance, lean on him, push him, and take the rounds with that messy, untidy work, then yeah, the 6 rounds will work for him. It's going to come down to strategy.
Busy start to round 1 of our main event, Podis Fight Night, brought to you by Culture Kings. This one sponsored by Culture Kings. Promoters have been trying to get Jerome Pampellone into the ring with John Parker for some time, but tonight he gets Nik the Greek. And just both of these men trying to warm into their work.
A good strategy there from Nik. He needs to take that space away from Jerome. If Jerome has you at the edge of that range in that middle distance, he is lethal.
Nik coming over the top of the right, Jerome staying busy.
That's what Nik needs to do. That there is what Nik needs to do to be successful.
Jerome coming through with the jab.
Fast start to this fight. Typically a first round's a bit of a measuring round, but both lads have come out throwing hard.
There's that range you talk about, Jerome inviting Nik the Greek into it. And he's got that dangerous right hand loaded up waiting for it.
That is a dangerous place for Nik to be, at the end of that range, at the end of that jab. If the jab can land, then the right hand's going to be sharp over the top.
Just gets out of the way. Nik Charalampous from the flailing right hand of Jerome Pampellone. Again, looking for it, looking for a home. And that is a little shot on the bell, but that is the end of the first round in the books.
Very fast first round, very fast first round. It's going to be a hard, fight to maintain that pace.
We take a look at the first round highlights, and Chad just starting to settle in toward the end of that round, both these fighters.
Yeah, finding their mark. They're both. Nik is just he's able to take that space away from Jerome quite well in that first round. Guessing that's what he's been working on in camp, and I mean they know each other from their sparring. So Nik would have taken that away, and how can I take away the advantages of Jerome Pampellone? Every boxer has their weaknesses. So that's going to be a that's going to be a hard pace for Nik to maintain. Also being the bigger man, working at that work rate of the smaller man is tough. It's tough. Being big is not always easy. Being bigger is not always make it easier. The smaller man works at a higher pace. They're a bit faster. They're a bit more accurate. They're smaller targets. They're more nimble.
Nik Charalampous, black trunks, gold trim. He weighed in at 90.9, 8 kilo weight advantage on Jerome Pampellone in the black trunks. Round 2 of 6. The main event here at the Auckland War Memorial. I hope you're enjoying the coverage. Sky Sport 3, Podis Fight Night. And there's some purchase from Jerome Pampellone. Loading up to the body, going high.
So when Jerome lets his hands go, they are sharp punches. That's a space that Nik doesn't want to be, at the edge of that range, just like that. That is where he's going to be vulnerable from the accurate, sharp punches of the Panther. Now, talking about Nik's amateur background, which is quite extensive. As a youth and junior, Jerome Pampellone himself was a very successful amateur, boxing at the World Championships, making a quarterfinal placing, and on the way to that quarterfinal placing, beat an Olympian from Egypt. And everyone that makes the Olympics is of a good level.
45-7 amateur career, yeah, impressive for Jerome, and there's a big shot.
So he is sharp with that right hand, very sharp with that right hand, and accurate.
There's durable. Nik the Greek says Jerome gets the better of him in sparring, but a lot can change on fight night.
So especially when you've got 10-ounce gloves on, as opposed to 16 ounces that they would use for sparring, and headgears.
Wild right from Nik the Greek, and there's a good jab. He's used it effectively at times tonight so far in the opening couple of rounds as Nik Charalampous.
That's actually something Nik should use a lot more, is that jab. You take away a guy like Jerome that's looking for that right hand, you want to beat him to the shots with the jab, just like he is there, and they can spoil the counter punches of Jerome. It's also a way for him to close the distance like he wants to. This is a high-paced bout.
Again, more work to the body from Jerome Pampellone before going up top on.
Weekends away in Queenstown, fantastic. And of course, the Navarre Foundation, really good worthwhile cause helping families that live in South Auckland. So make sure you go along and pick up some pay. Wait to get the text before leaving the club tonight.
Crowd enjoying what they're seeing. Nik the Greek Charalampous against Jerome the Panther Pampellone, and they have let the hands go a bit tonight, haven't they, in the opening couple of rounds? Round 3 of 6, here we go. Halfway point. And a fast start again. Jerome Pampellone coming out firing.
Nik the Greek doing well at taking that space away from Jerome. Jerome has still not found that position where he can really let his accurate, effective punches go. Nik doing well at holding and making it a rough and untidy fight. And working behind that jab.
Oh, good combination. Jerome Pampellone has him on the ropes. Nik the Greek. He switches it around.
So those little things that Nik knows, that experience, just to, in the clinch, spin him onto the ropes, take the middle of the ring back.
Good snap on the jab from Nik the Greek. He's found a home for it a couple of times tonight in this fight. A relentless intensity from Pampellone on the counter coming forward.
And Jerome is used to being in this high intensity sort of situation in the Peach camp, sparring with Andre Mikhailovich, the Renegade, and David Light himself, the stablemate of David Light, sparring all the time, high level boxer David Light, so he's in good company every day in the gym.
Pampellone trying to back Charalampous up on the ropes and fires with the left as Nik the Greek. Now the double jab.
It's been a really high-paced fight, and perhaps, even if it's only the third round, they've put a lot into these early rounds, and maybe Nik's starting to feel the pace a little bit. They're saying he is the bigger man, and he has been forced to work at the smaller man's work rate. It's a sharp right hand from Jerome. Starting to find a home for that as we approach the midway of this fight.
There's a combination from Nik the Greek, then follows it up with a good jab. Now the uppercut. Now another combination from Nik Charalampous. Done well with the jab to keep Jerome Pampellone on the outside at times. Big exchanges.
Also to mention, this is quite a small ring. This is a smaller ring than a lot of rings, and that will favor Jerome as he puts on the pressure. It's not far from rope to rope.
So you say this is a smaller ring. For those watching at home, how much smaller would this be to say your standard ring you'd fight in?
There's a range of sizes, but this might be about 5 meters, 5.5 meters, and a lot of rings you'll fight in sort of 7, 8 meter rings. It's just that little bit smaller, and that will favor pressure style. And you can see, yeah, Jerome can put the pressure on, take Nik to the ropes. It's not far from rope to rope, and yeah, make him work at a higher pace. That favors the smaller man.
Podis Fight Night brought to you by Culture Kings here at Auckland War Memorial. I hope you're enjoying the coverage live on Sky Sport 3. Chad Milne's in the house. David Light earlier. Our sponsors, Duval, Start For You, Green Soda. Wonderful job, Nick Randall and the team at Podis putting this together. And still plenty to come in this one. Nik the Greek Charalampous against Jerome the Panther Pampellone. Nik the Greek in the black trunks, gold trim. Jerome in the black trunks.
I just want to note, in between those rounds in the break, just looking at the body language of both boxers. You look at Jerome, he's had a drink of water, he's got his mouth shut, and if you look at it, it went to Nik the Greek and mouth open, panting, so you can see he's really feeling the pace of this fight as we just go past the halfway point.
Wonderful condition. Jerome Pampellone coming into this contest against Nik the Greek. And
so just a bit younger, a bit fresher.
Pampellone finding a home for some of those short punches in close.
Nik just starting to hang around in that middle distance just a bit too long. He's not able to take that space away from Jerome. Jerome just starting to get more confidence and find his punches. That is not where Nik wants to be.
Good
on
up.
The ropes and just out of range.
Lovely work, Jerome Pampellone with the uppercut and to the body. And working that left hand. Starting to pick his shots here.
Since Nik's punches are starting to lose that snap.
Wild right hand from Nik Charalampous. Doesn't find the target. You just feel here, 45 seconds remaining in round 4. Perhaps Jerome Pampellone is the slightly fresher man.
So now he's just looking for those punches.
Excellent uppercut from Pampellone. Tries to follow with a combination, another right.
I like how Jerome now, even if his man is, he senses his man is fatiguing, he's patient and he's finding the punches just by giving that little bit of time to eye and line the punches up.
Another big swing from Nik Charalampous. Another uppercut from Jerome to the body again, the left. Some beautiful work, some ring craft from Jerome Pampellone. And 2 to go, 4 in the books.
Starting to see a change in the story of the fight. Just Nik the Greek is really feeling the pace. Jerome's still fresh, and now he can slow down to Nik's pace, but now find the right punches. You know, Nik's not able to spoil his space as much as before and wrestle and push and step back. And now Jerome can take his time a bit more and line up those effective punches like so there.
Jerome's body work's been pretty good tonight, hasn't it, Chad? Jerome's body work's been good tonight.
Yeah, definitely, and that's going to open up Nik upstairs, as well as continue to take the air out of Nik. It's been a really hard pace, and those body shots are going to have their effect. You can see that now.
Penultimate round of the main event of the evening here in Auckland, between Jerome the Panther Pampellone, trying to extend his record to 12-0 against Nik the Greek Charalampous. Looking for the 21st win of his career. Oh, big connection. Pampellone
Starting to find a home for all those punches. You really feel that the story of the fight has changed now with greater regularity, landing big shots. You can see Nik the Greek is just, he's tired and he's just not able to defend those punches anymore.
He's rocked him with a couple of good left hands here, Jerome. I think you can sense something in this 5th round.
And when Jerome has someone like that in front of him, he is vicious. The Greek doing well to hang in there.
Just missing with the left hook. Nik Charalampous goes in close again, and he's put together some good combinations tonight, Pampellone, out of these positions.
And he's a good style for this pro boxing as starts as well.
Now the boys open up.
He flurries.
Crowd coming alive.
sensing his man is vulnerable.
Connects with another right hand. Nik the Greek looking for a big shot. Touches him with a left. Approaching 15 minutes inside the ring. The gas tanks starting to run a wee bit low on both fighters as we head toward the final round.
It's in fights like these where there's a lot of wrestling and pushing and shoving. It does take it out of you. It takes that snap out of your punches.
We will go to round 6, the main event of the evening. And what did you make of that, the penultimate round, Chad Milnes?
You can see that Nik the Greek is just really feeling the pace of the fight. He's sloppy on his defense. After he throws his shot, he leaves himself open, and Jerome Pampellone has taken advantage of those moments with his sharp, accurate shots. Punching down the middle as well. Straight punches are working really well as he follows up, finishing on that jab. And then on the inside, he's doing well at taking away Nik's work by leaning on him with that front shoulder. Similar to American kind of style, sort of Philly shell style. Which can keep him safe from big shots as well as defend the body. So really taking away any of Nik's opportunities. Here we are, 6th and final round. It's been an action-packed fight.
Sure has. The crowd loving it too. And we always see a stoppage, and we'll just go to the cards.
In conversation with David Light, Jerome Pampellone, with his last fight in Australia, he wasn't happy with his performance and said that he was really wanting to come out here and make a statement against the Greek. But likewise with the Greek, after his last fight, getting TKO'd against Chucky Francis, he himself wanted to come out and make a statement that he's still here, he's still a live opponent, and it's not over for the Greek.
Caught Nik the Greek with a good left hand just like that in the 5th round. And dazed him, but he's hanging in tough.
But that's something else that the Greek has a great chin. He's only been stopped once in his losses, and that wasn't from a big shot. It was just from fatigue. I think he came into the fight perhaps unprepared for the title fight, and as the fight went on, just felt that the pace, he was tired, he wasn't in condition, and just tapped out of the fight. But rarely have I seen Nik the Greek hurt very badly. He was down once against Jaya Pataya, but he went the distance, he got back to his feet and saw the fight out. So he's a very resilient character.
Showing it tonight, Nik the Greek Charalampous against Jerome Pampellone as we approach the final minute of this fight.
And also a very proud fighter.
Coaches at his boxing gym in Silverdale, Nik the Greek passing on the craft to the younger generation and putting in a good shift tonight against the talent of Jerome Pampellone. And both of these guys starting to empty the tank now. 40 seconds remain in the main event.
So Nik spoiling the space of Jerome, just not giving him that space for him to land punches in succession.
Applause from the crowd. Both of these fighters leaving it all in the ring here.
And the fight heats up for the final 10.
Jerome. They go the distance. Jerome the Panther Pampellone and Nik the Greek Charalampous here in Auckland. Fantastic fight. A lot of grit showing and a lot of skill too, Chad Milnes.
Yeah, great fight. Jerome really, especially in the last half of that fight, showing his punch repertoire, his accuracy, and also, you know, his grit as well. You know, it wasn't a particularly super tidy fight. You know, Nik really made it rough and made it a bit messy, but he was in there and he showed his grit in a tough fight. And there's going to be fighters like that as he wishes, you know, to climb the ranks in the world. There's going to be all sorts of messy fighters that'll take that space away from him and take away his opportunities for punches. So another good experience to have on his belt. And also credit to Nik for taking on a live fighter like the Panther. That's a tall order to take on Jerome. He's firing hard right now. He's on fire. He's confident. His stable is on a roll, and that adds to his confidence. So taking this fight is not easy.
Will it be another win tonight for Peach Boxing and that man, Jerome the Panther Pampellone?
6-round cruiserweight contest tonight to wrap up our Podis Boxing Fight Night live from the Auckland War Memorial Museum. Let's go to the judges' scores. 59-56, 58-56, 60-54. A unanimous points decision. Fighting out of the red corner, Jerome the Panther Pampellone.